Played in
My
the
dad
NHL.
played, yeah. My uncle played, but my mom kind of forced me into it. I didn't want to play at the beginning. I hated the early morning practices, and she would, wake me up, throw me in the car, and drive me. But yeah, the early days I did not like it. Had no choice from there.
Please welcome to the podcast, Vladislav Namestnikov. And listen, you've had some great success early on in the season as a team. What did you guys carry from last year into this one? I know you guys have done a great job of just parking things, but what did you guys take from last year as a positive into this season?
I think you grow as a team, like being together most of last year, the same group, and coming into this year, pretty much the same group as well. So we learned from the mistakes last year and kind of brought it into this year. And I think it's a very tight group, and we stick up for each other, and I think that's why we're having success. Kind of, one goes, we all go kind of mentality.
For sure. And you went into the Christmas break as a top team in the National Hockey League. A lot of people very excited about that. But what did you guys take from that into to start the second half, or not so much the second half, but the post Christmas break?
Yeah, it's good to be in first place, but there's still a lot of work to do. So the work doesn't stop. We got to keep grinding it. The schedule isn't ideal. It's a grind, but you got to keep going. And there's still lots of games to go, and we got to keep focusing on that game, kind of day by day kind of thing.
What was it like, just like such as a road heavy schedule for you guys? And as we get into the home part of it, what was the road like, being on the road all the time? It felt like for you guys coming home for one game and then it seemed like you guys are back on the road again.
Yeah, it seems like during my career, personally, I've never had that. So it's kind of a unique schedule this year, but it is hard. It's hard on the body, on the mind, but there's nothing you can do really about it. You got to just, as I said, keep grinding. Nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, and I'm not asking you to like complain about it, but what is it like to go from different coasts and bounce around from time zones? That 6-game road trip, you guys were playing in 3 different time zones.
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes I wake up in my bed, I don't know where I am, and it's like, what city am I in? So it's definitely hard, but at the same time, it's you get to travel. I mean, you can't really complain. So it's fun at the same time.
I remember talking with Sarah Oleski about this. Like, you sometimes you will, when you're on the road for such a long time, you forget what your hotel room number is. Have you ever gone into an elevator in a hotel and go, okay, what floor am I on? And what hotel room am I going to be in?
Yeah, there's been lots of times where you forget your floor, your room number, and you're like pissed off. You got to go down and ask them. So it's yeah.
And you're like, I'm not hammered or anything. Like that. I'm just like, I know where I am. Yeah. The enjoyment of playing with Nikolai Ehlers and Cole Perfetti, younger guys. But let's talk about Cole and what have you enjoyed about playing with him?
Yeah, he's very smart. He's a very intelligent player. He's very good passing the puck and kind of finding the open space, and it's kind of easy to read off of him. And same with Fly. He's very fast. You got to just kind of put the puck in an area and he'll get it there. And we've played a lot last year and this year as well. So it's fun for sure.
Have you had to talk with Cole, because he's naturally very hard on himself? Have you ever had to take him aside and just say, let's relax a little bit in that aspect?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of his personality, but at the same time, if you get to know him a little better, you know that that's not how he is. So, in the room, he's always joking around and stuff like that. So maybe there's a side that fans don't get to see, but he's definitely really, really funny and he smiles a lot in the room.
So, same with Nikolai Ehlers. Any post-game interview, he'll be critical of his game. Do you find that as well, talking to him about on his game on the ice and certainly on the bench?
Yeah, I mean, we always talk on the bench and stuff. So, when things aren't going good, we do talk more and we expect more from each other. So there's definitely that aspect of talking on the bench for sure.
And it's lighthearted, obviously, because as you just talked about, two guys that like to have a lot of fun. So it must be lighthearted on the bench as well. I know when you when to get down to business on the bench, but it's got to be some fun on the bench as well.
Yeah, I mean, when things are going good, definitely more jokes. But when things aren't going as well, it's a little bit more serious, and we kind of push each other to be better. And I think that's a good, healthy kind of relationship, and as a teammate. So you want to push the other guy to be better.
Hey Jets fans, this is your chance to win big with Winnipeg Jets 50-50 tickets presented by Play Now. All proceeds will support the True North Youth Foundation. Get your tickets now by texting JETS to 20450.
Hi, I'm Cole Perfetti. And this is the Ground Control Podcast.
The power play is number one in the National Hockey League. Can you speak to what has made it so successful with Davis Payne and what he's kind of changed up a little bit?
Yeah, I think both units we're both on the same page, and everyone knows what role they have to do. So we kind of have a more attack mentality, and I think it's been working so far. So sometimes when things start kind of sliding not in our direction, Painter tells us, okay, here's what you need to do. It's been working, so let's get things straight and just keep attacking. And I think it's for most of the year it's been working.
I don't want to get you compared to early in your career you played in Tampa Bay. They've had some lights out power plays there. Do you see any similarities in that aspect or is this a completely different system?
I would say just definitely. They're both attack mentalities for sure. In Tampa, you had Stammer, that lethal one-timer. Here we're more like a pass and attack mentality instead of like shot mentality. So it's a little bit different, but at the same time, we're attacking the net like any good power play. So we got to keep doing that.
There's almost obviously as a number one power player, there's got to be that confidence when you head on the ice. You guys are going to do something, or not so much maybe not score, but get the momentum back in your favor. Do you feel like that every time you guys step on the ice on the power play?
I think so. Yeah. As you said, it's. Even if you don't score sometimes and you are in the zone and getting a lot of shots, it's a momentum shift. So sometimes, as you said, you won't score. It's NHL, but you do get the momentum, and it definitely helps.
Let's talk about a guy that kind of was played a role in getting you here in Winnipeg, and Rick Bowness. You've had him in multiple stops in the National Hockey League. What did he mean, and what does he mean to your National Hockey League career?
Yeah, I remember I was a rookie, and I had him as assistant in Tampa, and he was always most positive guy in the room. Always told me to smile more. So and then I had him in Dallas and here. So he's meant a lot to me. He's always honest up front with you and very demanding. So what do you want from a coach?
As this team was very developed, as you talked about earlier in the podcast, so, it's the same group. What has made that aspect made it easier for Scott Arniel to come in, obviously as an associate coach the last two seasons before this one?
Yeah, Scott was around the team for multiple years, so he kind of knew the group and what was he coming into. So when Bones was out with Judy last year, he came in and he kind of knew what he was doing, and so I think he's done a phenomenal job. He's as I said, very demanding as well, and kind of pushing us to be better each day.
Have you noticed a change in him from being an associate coach to the head coach? Or there's not much change at all? Same person? Or I know the responsibilities are different, but have you noticed much in the change in the personality?
Yeah, I think the responsibility is definitely different, but I think Arnie's the same person. Not much has changed, but as you said, there's probably more responsibility as a head coach than assistant.
When you see with the Four Nations face-off and the international calendars coming in the next 2 years, you've been in the NHL long enough where you see the schedule crunched up the way it is. Do you understand, as hard as it is, do you understand why the international calendar has to be a part of the schedule during the NHL season?
Yeah, I understand it, and everyone's kind of in the same boat, so you can't really complain too much, but it definitely is hard on the players. But as I said, you can't really do much. You just got to go out and grind and play every other day.
Puck is dropped, and it's showtime from downtown Winnipeg.
Jet fans, game packs are back this season, and you can save big by purchasing a 4, 6, or 8 game package. Select your games from a variety of tiers to personalize the perfect pack that fits your schedule. There is something for everyone. So be sure to visit winnipegjets.com/gamepacks to build your package today.
What got you into hockey, Vlad? I know your dad played in the NHL.
My uncle played, but my mom kind of forced me into it. I didn't want to play at the beginning. I hated the early morning practices, and she would, wake me up, throw me in the car, and drive me. But yeah, the early days I did not like it, and then as I got older, I got better and kind of had no choice from there.
How long was that window of not really enjoying getting up every morning?
Probably until I was 9, 10.
Yeah.
And when I was 9, we went back to Russia because my dad went back to the Super League back then, and practices were at 6 a.m. in Russia. So, yeah, it wasn't fun, but it all paid off. So I can't really complain now.
No, absolutely. And what was your mom's go-to about getting you up in the morning? Would she have to like shake you? Would she have to drag you?
Well, back when we were here in the States, she'd pick me up and just throw me in the car, and I'd sleep while she drove me to practice. So, yeah.
Like most moms will like get a little bit embarrassed when their kids tell stories like that. Does your mom get a little bit embarrassed, or did she?
I'm sure she
doesn't enjoy you telling that story to other people.
Yeah, but I think she knew what she was doing. She's been around. Well, my dad obviously played, and she knew what it takes to be a hockey player. So, and then the same thing with my little brother. She did the same thing, and yeah, he's playing too now.
Absolutely. And just do you laugh a little bit when you see him having to go through the same process?
I mean, yeah.
You're like, I knew that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're going through.
This is what it takes to be a player. So, yeah.
Did you have any other sporting enjoyments that outside of hockey where you had interest, where you're like, maybe this would be the thing?
Not growing up, no. It was always hockey, everything hockey. Later on, like in summer, I like to play tennis as training, but other than that, not really many sports.
What did you enjoy most about part of your growing up in Russia?
Honestly, it was just hockey. Like everything was so focused on hockey. My mom was big on school too, so like she said, you have to play hockey and do good in school. But other than that, I come from a really small town there, and there's not much going on. So every day was just hockey, hockey, hockey. What
else did you enjoy about going back to your hometown? When and do you get that opportunity?
If you ever been like there, there's not much. Like there's 2 streets.
Okay, so you're talking a real small town.
A real small town, yeah. It's 2 streets, a hockey rink, and then there's like one. You wouldn't even call it a mall. It's like a little thing of stores. Yeah. So like, you go to school, you go to hockey, and then you go home. There's really not much. Yeah, you play outside with your friends, but nothing really much going on there.
So it made it a lot easier to focus on hockey because of the lack of opportunities outside of that. Yeah. So you say you like tennis. So what have you enjoyed about tennis, and how much do you play tennis in the off season?
I play a lot now. It's more pickleball.
Naturally,
yeah. But I think it's just like hockey. It's just a team sport, but tennis, it's one-on-one. It's different mentality. Like everything's dependent on you. I feel like it's a little bit more stressful for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just like go out there and compete.
What about paddle? Because I know Nino's big into that. Have you tried that?
He plays some. Yeah, he plays some
paddle
game. Pickleball, I think it's a little bit. I don't know the rules of paddleball, but
I think you said there's a combination of tennis and racquetball, if my memory serves me correctly. So for paddle,
I think pickleball is just smaller tennis. It's easier on your body a little bit, and the ball's a little bit lighter. So,
because I've always wondered, obviously, you guys, your options aren't as during the off season. You want to not get hurt, so does paddle, or sorry, does pickleball, like the impact and everything like that, is probably pretty low, right?
I'd say it's lower than tennis, but it's still. Yeah, there's risk changer, I guess, in any sport. But, I think there's less court to cover and less running to do, I guess. So it's for me, I think it's a better workout than the tennis. The rallies are longer, so it's a better workout.
I've also heard you're pretty good at fantasy football, a pretty intense manager in that department. Is that true?
Yeah, I get really, really heated. Me and Pionk this year, lots of injuries to our team, so we didn't. We made playoffs, but we didn't do too well in playoffs. So,
last year was your first year, right? Because Neil told me that you're the transaction guy.
I'm usually on the waiver wire, scouting players. So, we got second place last year, and 6th place this year. So, hopefully we can win next year.
What did you enjoy? Like, was it immediately you enjoyed the time, like just with the transactions and being part of a fantasy football league?
Yeah, I've grown up. I'm never a football guy, and I feel like fantasy makes you watch the game and kind of cheer for your guys that you have on your squad. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird how obsessed you get with fantasy football, but it is fun, and kind of brings the guys together. We always talk about it.
Alex Ovechkin is chasing one of the biggest records in the National Hockey League as a fellow countryman. How exciting is that to see that happening?
Yeah, it is. I think when it happens, it's going to be huge. He's a guy that you grew up watching all the time, and kind of opened the door for young Russian players to kind of want to come here and play in the NHL. So, yeah, he's definitely an idol growing up. And
do you catch yourself looking to see what he does every night, or is this what?
I mean, he's always scoring something every day, so I don't know how many more he needs till the record, but it's only a matter of time till it happens.
Well, appreciate your time. Good luck the rest of the season, and thanks for doing this.
Thank you.